The biggest problem with financial maths for us is very often vocabulary. We're not familiar with it because we don't use those terms in everyday life. Well, I do, you don't yet, you will. But let's just consider the vocabulary that very often we come across. So when they are referring to something that means gross, that word gross, that means that in that amount there is tax. So it is with tax, it's including tax, or in other words, before tax are collected. When we are looking at net, that means without tax, excluding tax, after tax are collected. So from there, we can drive two kind of main formulas that are not in your table, is that gross value will equal what? The net, so the one before tax, together with tax, then I have the gross. Or what we very often use, gross minus the tax will give me net. So if we are thinking about money, like in this very example, Mary earns 55,000 per year. So that is what she earns, 55,000 per year. So part of that money will be tax, and then the other part will be net. So tax given to government, and a net is what she gets. So let's see, she pays 10,100 tax on her income. She also pays USC. USC is a form of tax, universal social charge, and we are told how much, and therefore we have to find her net income. So that's one. So is this what we are looking for? And write it, so that second thing, as a percentage. So we're going to consider that as a second point, writing it as a percentage. Now, first, let's find her net income. So from her gross, which is 55,000, we take away tax. One tax is 10,100, and then the other tax is 1,561.42. So we take away both of those from 55, we put it in the calculator, we press equal, and we get 43,338 and 58 cents. Now, when it comes to percentage, so always when in your question they are telling you to calculate percentage, you have to think about fraction, because that's where percentage coming from. Fraction will be changed to a decimal, and decimal will be changed to percentage, but it starts with fraction. So what is fraction we are doing? Percentage of what? It. What that it? Right? It meaning what? Net income. So net income on the top of the fraction. So write it, and that it they refer is net income. So write it as a percentage of what? Of her gross income. So gross income goes at the bottom of the fraction. So here again, her net income we just calculated, 43,338.58 divided, and then the gross income is 55,000. We put that in the calculator, we get a decimal, 0.7879741. Now, how do we change a decimal to percentage? We either multiply by 100 or we move that decimal 2 places. So that will be 78.79741. What are the terms and conditions of our answer? Give your second answer correct to one decimal place. So that means I'm cutting off 9 because 5 and above, we have to add up 1. So it will be 78.8%. So very typical part of your exam question.